Hello everyone, it's me, Clayson. I just got back from watching Crazy Rich Asians, a romantic comedy that happens to deliver on both the romance and the comedy. So the story here is about a young woman named Rachel who has been dating her good her good boyfriend Nick for quite a while. So when Nick offers to take her to his friend's wedding in Singapore, he decides it would be a great time to show her his family and his lifestyle. She's surprised to figure out that not only is he a wealthy bachelor, but his family's insanely rich. So she has to deal with socialites, several different run-ins with different friends and members of Nick's family, and her biggest obstacle of all, Nick's disapproving mother, who does not want to see his son marry her. So the story here is very similar to a lot of other rom-coms of this type, but ultimately it still manages to pull off a good story of its own, mainly because even though it has these cliches, it plays them in a way that feels natural to the story. It can be like this for any couple that has another person that has a secret that their partner doesn't know about until they get thrust into it. It makes for some great comedy and it makes for some great drama, of which this film has plenty of both. A lot of that is because the characters themselves are very good. Rachel and Nick are, of course, very charming as the leads, and Nick's mother is absolutely despicable in many ways, but also realistic. It's not like she's a cartoonish villain who wants to see her son without her for the heck of it. It's very much handled in a mature way to the point where you understand why she feels that way, but you still disapprove of her. Rachel's Rachel's friend in the film is very funny. Often she has some of the best laughs in the film. One of Nick's friends, Oliver, is also hilarious, happening to play his performance without being a stereotype, which is very hard to do if you consider his character type. And the rest of the characters range from lovable to hateable with a good sense of who they are and having an inherent charisma mainly due to their actors' performances. The film is a very pretty looking film as well. There aren't that many special effects, but the ones that are there are generally well handled, and the location of Singapore means it's a very nice location with plenty of interesting things happening in everywhere we go. Whether we're in a restaurant or whether we're on a tropical island, there's almost something interesting to look at even when the story is taking a backseat to some comedy, which only happens a few times, but every time it does happen, it is generally hilarious. And despite the comedy being generally one of the best things about the film, another one of the best things is also the romance. Rachel and Nick go through a lot in this film, and their chemistry feels very natural to the point where you as the audience will believe that they're actually a couple going through a lot of these scenarios. They have a very believable chemistry to them, and Constance Wu and Henry Golding deserve praise for their impeccable performances. Michelle Yeoh should also be commended for making Nick's mother, Eleanor, quite the interesting subversion of her character type. And also the music. The music is very well handled, having a Chinese aesthetic to it while also fitting the tone of the film. And given how Chinese culture is such a big part of the film, it happens to add to that very well. So yeah, Crazy Rich Asians may not be the most original romantic comedy in the world, but it's definitely well handled in almost every single way. I give it an 8 out of 10. See you next time.